The voice of Louisiana Paintball is here. From the bayou shadows where the hunters creep to the airball. Please. We are more than a game. Feel the rush in your veins. From the mud to the turf, we bring fire, bring pain. Swing it down, hear the sound, let it out your loud. Louisiana Paintball, stand proud. Stand proud.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Paintball Lounge. For this time, it's known as the Paintball Lounge Reload. And I got to say, the very first guy who I interviewed, Drew Bankston from Xtreme. What's up, man?
What's up, dude? Good to be back, man.
Yeah, man, it's been a long time. I mean, 4 years ago, you were my first guy that, hey, let's put you on the show and see how it goes. And it's crazy.
And here we are 4 years later.
Yeah. So how you
Video.
been? Like, how's everything been since 4 years ago?
Jeez. Good. Lots changed, but it's all good. I don't know, man. 4 years in this whole 20-something year body of work is like, I don't know. Same song and dance. People change, but nothing else changes. Same thing,
Yeah, man. I mean, because last time we talked, like, there was a lot of big things, a lot of changes that was going to happen for LAX as well as for you. And I see that you don't have the pro shop where we used to do the interview. It's no more. What's going on with that?
Like, I think we had a 3-month period where not one person, customer, rental, nothing, came into the pro shop.
Oh, wow.
When we built this building in 2019, I thought it was total overkill, too much, didn't need it. And within 2 years, you're out of space. So, I mean, like, I don't know. With nobody coming into the pro shop, and it's probably my fault in a sense, having it separate. Like, to me, I thought that'd be the way to play it. In hindsight, definitely shouldn't have did that. Should have had it more like a lot of the other places you go, where when you walk in to check in, there's your pro shop, or there's what you sell, so people could see it, and just people never found their way over here. And I think it was also, there's been a little trend in paintball, worse some places than others, sure, but selling of merchandise is just, it's down a little bit for the most part. Like, we used to sell 5 Titmans a weekend, and I don't think I've sold 5 Titmans in the last year. So,
Wow.
oh yeah. There's more to that, why that is, I think, but it's just, I needed the space for something else. And when we first started the grind thing, we needed like a shipping room and to be able to package orders accurately. And we had, it was our first time, and we didn't want to like send somebody the wrong lens or send the wrong thing to the wrong person or whatever. So this was a good spot to give it its own thing, be able to do it organized, do it the right way, So yeah, but
Yeah.
it's coming back though. But we'll put it in the check-in area so
Right.
people could see it,
And actually, I like it. It's kind of like your own office. Like, it's kind of like, because I'm so used to you being in the back and the whole garage scene and everything. It's like, it's a really nice, kind of make it a little bit professional.
Yeah. And I think I'm more effective this way because, like, I have a desk instead of like
Mm-hmm.
filling out paperwork and checking emails with a folding chair next to a pallet of paint, on top of a pile of broken rental guns. Like, at least in here, I can be a little more efficient, and comfortable and organized, I guess.
Right. Hey, I really dig it. I
Thank you.
really dig it. I'm not gonna lie. So a lot of things has happened. One for sure is that the Hurricanes was, sponsored by, LAX. Like, how was it being the sponsor for them for so long?
Well, that's a loaded question, man. Just to be transparent, sponsor, I mean, I did whatever I could to help those guys out. A lot of those guys I've got 20+ year relationships with. I mean, they're like real OG friends to me that go way back. And even though we might not talk every day, the history is so deep with some of those cats. And, I respect those guys and they give me the vibe that it's mutual. So that's kind of cool.
Hmm.
But like, it wasn't like I was, with some of the stories I've heard, I'm not going to get into them, but it is absolutely insanity what I guess some people thought I was doing or my part in that team. I mean, I had a facility. I could try to cater it to help them out, help them out with some maybe paint at events with my purchasing with GI, and maybe some networking for. I mean, them guys are kind of can do it all on their own.
Hmm.
So I mean, like, but I helped out where I could. So, but I guess that's the first part. But I mean, to have them here for 3 years was awesome. Personally, you know, I've been doing this so long that it's very rare that something happens that kind of gets you excited or you think, oh, wow, that's cool. And to see your logo on the pro field, on the NXL, I'm still a fan. Like you're watching Go Sports and like the first time they did it, like my phone just blows up with dudes from 20 years ago. Like, bro, I'm watching this NXL and your logo's on the pro field. So, that was kind of cool just to see that as a fan
Right.
of pro paintball and paintball itself. So, that was cool. And I think it was good for the paintball scene because for the first time, to my knowledge, like it was very tangible and reachable or more reachable, let me say that, to possibly get some professional eyes on you. If you go back to like Sean McDonald's era and the era and like '04 and all that time, that was tough to come from Louisiana and get anything high level paintball. I mean, these dudes and the internet wasn't what it was and people wasn't constantly traveling to different states and different fields. And it just didn't like back then you could be the best paintball player in this region and still
Hmm.
have a hard time getting picked up on a pro team. Like they don't know you. Like you come from like this little small area where paintball is not that big and it's just hard, man. You had to know the right people and be really good at paintball. So the hurricanes come around and next thing you know, it's like, dude, if you want to go pro, there's your chance. Come out here every Sunday, show them that you want it, put in the work and it's possible. And you saw it happen with a couple guys from here that,
Yeah.
they got their shot in a sense. So that was really cool, I thought. But yeah, I mean, it was a good run and it was awesome. And I really enjoyed it. Like going to the events and being in the pro pits and seeing all that works and seeing the level of like professionalism, which I guess that's ironic to say, but it was cool. It was a good experience, man. And I really enjoyed it.
Was it was it for a business standpoint, was it like really cool to get all this, attention that, hey, LAX is like now on a pro field? Was it generate business or was it kind of hurting it? Like
Well,
as a bit as a business standpoint.
that's a good question. And I guess the best answer I could give you, I mean, I have had a couple people say like, hey man, like from far away too, like we have a guy that still plays out here pretty frequently that literally ended up here because he saw the logo on he was getting into paintball and was watching Go Sports and saw the logo and found and I've seen that logo before. And then he ended up here and drives 3 hours to come here.
Wow.
But there's not like a bunch of those. And I don't know, I hate saying things like this, but it's similar to Bunkerfest, right? Bunkerfest
Okay.
was awesome. Like it was, I mean, I'll never forget that, man. And it
I
was
won't
just,
forget it either.
man, and not to shoot off on a tangent here, but shout out to Chris Rangle and his
Yeah.
entire dude. You can tell like the character and the quality of a person when everybody around that dude is incredible. Hardworking, honest, like I mean, like in those couple weeks or whatever, not even couple weeks, few days of the Bunkerfest thing, the brotherhoods that were formed with some of the Bunkerfest guys and me, I mean, it was just crazy. And just like those dudes and women are, I mean, incredible. But anyway, sorry about that.
No, you're good. You're good. You know, I re- hey, shout out to Chris and for I mean, yeah, it sucks that Bunker Fest is no longer around as much. But when they came down here, they put a hell of a show. And I know that the aftermath was not that great because everybody doesn't like to clean up. No one likes to clean
No,
up.
dude, those dudes did. I mean, like they would get mad at me for trying to help pick up, but they came in here and spotless up the place real quick. But I guess to the analogy part, what I was trying to say was like everybody was like, "Holy crap, we just had all these teams here. This is going to put you on the map for speedball." But
Hmm.
this is going to sound funny to say, but at that time, pretty much anybody that was involved in speedball in this area knew where to go. Like, and it's not like the teams from Portland or the teams from New York or the teams from, wherever all them far corners of the country they came from, they're not coming back for like, anything an LAX ball or something like that. So
No.
that, and the Hurricanes, the same thing. I mean, some guys got disgruntled about the Hurricanes being here and not being able to play when the Hurricanes needed to feel privately. So, I mean, I'd probably say business wise, it's probably just
It's a
a
fit.
wash. Yeah, I mean, but I think overall for the speedball scene, I think it had its positives and its perks that helped out.
Hmm.
But business wise, I don't think either one of them really changed anything. Maybe some teams from other fields, maybe we got on their radar a little more and they were willing to come over and play some paintball. Maybe that's really hard to gauge. But if I had to give you a direct answer, I would say I don't think it hurt business,
50-50.
but yeah, yeah,
It's 50-50, like, because you got all the publicity and got some people coming down and, you know, but it was a 50-50 shot. Even I could say it was a 50-50 shot. And because, like you said, you got people who, didn't like the fact that the Hurricanes were on the field for a private time, but at the same time, it's like, you know, they're trying the best to make Louisiana paintball, as good as it can be.
sure.
Because,
Yeah, I
like you
mean,
said,
I
small
understood
state.
both sides. I mean, I get where everybody's coming from, but at the end of the day, my commitment to those guys said they need a place to play against, you know, the Iron Man or the Russian Legion, and not a
Hmm.
D5 team. Like, and that, I mean, that's an awful thing to say, but I mean, it kind of stands. Like, you kind of have to do what you have to do.
Right.
So, and that's a good thing. I mean, like, in an interesting situation, I'm not going to say a bad situation, but in an interesting situation with them transferring to Texas, I'm just going to look at the positive. And the positive is now the divisional teams don't won't be getting in my ear about why we got to go play somewhere else because the Hurricanes got the field. Okay, you don't have to do that anymore. So that's what I'm going to look at and say, cool. And I wish those guys the best, man. I hope they. I mean, I got family that plays on that team. I got lifelong 20 plus year, 25-year friends on that team, and I hope they kick ass and look at what they have. Like somebody asked me this at the event, like, man, that's gotta hurt, huh, man? So what's your thoughts on the hurricane? I mean, it's gotta make you mad, right? Like, what kind of friend would I be if I mean, look at what they got. Look at that facility, man.
Yeah, I
I,
mean,
I'm mad at Zach because he won the lottery. Like, I mean, like that I wouldn't be a very good friend if next thing you know, you got this really sweet setup. And I mean, that's pretty cool that they got this, awesome place to play and that's the dream. And I mean, that's awesome for them. And like I didn't, as far as I'm concerned, zero bad blood. Like I think it's awesome. I mean, they'd be crazy not to do that. Like you have to do
would
that, you
they would
know?
be crazy. They would be insane.
So that's good.
Especially, shout out to John. Like, he's doing all these crazy things for them, like, contract killers, signing up with MacDev and all that. He's doing, I mean, you gotta be crazy not to take that deal.
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
motivated, man. He's passionate about what he's doing. He's trying to get it done, and so that good for them. Congratulations. Like that's awesome, and yeah, I hope
all
they win.
love.
Yeah, yeah.
All love, man. All love. So you talk if you're liking this episode of Behind the Marker here on the Paintball Lounge, please like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, comment this video, and share this video with your loved ones, your friends, your family, and let's grow Louisiana paintball so everybody can play paintball every Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, whenever you have the time for. Okay, and let's get back to our great video. All love. So you talked about like Grind PB a few minutes ago. So let's talk about that because that is the big thing that was like, what's Grind PB? Like, why? Like, what got you started? With it.
Well, I guess seeing the speedball community out here. And some of the, I mean, not everybody, right? But some of these guys have a real nice like loyalty to LAX. And, that's super cool. And they're proud of the place and stuff. So whatever. And, we pump out LAX gear all the time. And people buy it, which is cool. It's that shows some support for the field and for the brand. So that's cool. But with some of the ideas, I had these ideas, and then, me and G kind of started talking about some things and figured we'd join forces and do something. See, I turned my ringer off, but the computer's ringing, and it's
It's
spam.
okay.
I got it. But
It's all
so
good.
we wanted to like create something, and it's kind of funny. I thought about this before this interview, but I promise you can believe me or not, but I promise I didn't hijack the idea. But when I was explaining the idea to somebody, it instantly hit me that this is pretty much, I think, I can't speak for JD, but at Fit, but I think the Hydra line is the same kind of concept, whether or not he planned that intentionally or it just organically happened that way. But the Hydra line for PB Fit, what that does is kind of what the idea for Grind was. Like I was thinking, okay, we're going to make some cool, and we'll come back into what it means in a second. But I wanted to make like something that kind of, the old school mentality of paintball, of grinding. Some of the guys that have been around here for a long time can tell you that I used to get mad when people would use the word grind. Oh, we're on that grind. We're grinding out here. Playing paintball 3 hours on a Sunday, 3 weeks out of four, when it's convenient, is not grinding. Like I used to coach little league baseball and travel ball, and my 9-year-olds worked on their craft more than dudes that are paying thousands of dollars to go play at a paintball tournament. So I just wanted to kind of create that, like a brand that kind of said, man, get to work. Like no excuses. If you want this, get to work, really go grind. And that was kind of the idea. And we had multiple names for the concept, and me and G kind of ran through them, and he said, "Man, I like that one." I said, "Well, I like that one too. Let's run with it." But we didn't want to have anything where, like, if there's a dude in, say, I mean, think about some of the LAX teams, especially last year at USXBLs, the rivalries that were created with,
Time.
like in Texas, especially. And
Mhm.
for the most part, they were like, healthy, you know, cordial, but they were, and some of them weren't, of course. But so, like, if there was a dude that said, "Hey, that's a cool shirt," and it says LAX paintball on it, I mean, that'd be like a Falcons fan saying, "Hey, I like that Saints hat. It looks cool." He's not buying it because it's a rival. So, and if you look at Hydra, I mean, PB Fit kicking ass all the time. You might have a dude who's like, "Hey, I'm a Tampa Bay Damage fan, so I'm not going to buy that really good squirrel bag or that really good pod pack or whatever the scenario is." So when I was explaining that to somebody, and I was like, "Yeah, like Hydra," and then I was like, "Oh crap, I think maybe I hijacked that idea." But that's what it was about, just to have something different, separate from LAX, and kind of give the players out here and anybody else that might like what we're doing, they could buy it and not feel like they were crossing lines of teams or loyalties or anything like that.
Yeah, and the fact that you're teamed up with JT, and because I've seen a lot of people, especially Austin, like I think it's Austin Slayer or something. His videos I've seen a lot of times, and I had to thank Chad for this. Not Yaya, the Chad Mossberry. I think that's his last name. If I can't say it right, sorry, bud. I gotta give shout out to him, and because the fact that he showed Grind PB on that YouTube, because I've seen a lot of videos saying Grind PB. I'm like, hey,
Hmm.
and it was just awesome. It was like, holy shit! Like it's taken by storm. I'm
I
gonna give
mean,
credit's due, man.
it's
Like
kind of doing like, and we use the JT lenses as a way to kind of get it out there, right? Like we
mhm.
probably will never do that again. I mean, it wasn't a bad thing. It actually worked out very well for us, but like we really want to just do like, shirts and these cool squirrel bags. Chad's actually a big part of that. His wife Jennifer has designed those things. They're insane, and we, keeping them in the family. People like them. Hats, shirts, just stuff to like kind of get a brand out there and kind of like shooting for quality items that not just something we had made real quick that doesn't last long. So that's what we're trying to do with it, and just I don't know, give something for the players and have a little something. Just like I don't know, I wear my grind shirt frequently, and somebody always stop. Oh, it's a cool because in case you can't tell, it's a 100% like spin on the Just Do It from Nike, which
Right.
anybody that's been around me for a long time, like this is one of my mantras that you apply to, you can apply it to everything if you want, but like certain things that got to get done, everybody overlooks on the Just Do It logo. They don't realize there's a period at the end of it. And as soon as it's like, it sounds simple to say, oh yeah, man, just do it. But then that's usually followed up with a but or some, and it's like there is no but. There's a period right there. And shut up, get it done. And if you kind of live like with paintball, like, I can't really practice today. If you're a competitor and you want to get it, go do it. Just go do it. Stop talking and go do it. And so it was important to me to kind of like keep that vibe with it. So we made sure to put the period on the logo to that, get to work, stop talking. Like nothing else, just get to work, you know? So
Yeah. Like quit with the talking, show the action.
yeah. I mean,
And
this game, dude, and it's truer now than it has ever been. Because back in my day, which is crazy that I can like actually just say that in a flow now, back in my day, whatever, whatever, whatever. Um, But like you could be good at paintball, like, an individual could get a lot more done. And getting good with your gun and reading the field, you could get a whole lot done. And you still can. But I mean, it's so much teamwork now and so much of a strategy and a game plan. Like more than ever, I think you got to get on that field and put the work in if you want to compete at these higher levels. You know, there's a part of the competitive paintball ecosystem of the guys that they can't commit to that and they can only play here and there. And they maybe, family, work, finances don't allow them to do what it takes to, climb the ladder. But with that being said, like, set your expectations accordingly. Like, I can't stand watching teams out here killing each other and screaming and yelling and pointing fingers, totally overlooking the elephant in the room that they're just not playing enough paintball. Like it's not, I mean, sure. Did the ref miss a call? Did a guy come off of his assignment? I mean, yeah, sure. But at the end of the day, like if you haven't done everything you can as a team to prepare for this event, then that's probably what you should address, you know? And it always sounds funny coming from the guy that sells you paintballs, but like I get that. But I mean, it still doesn't change the fact that that's true, you know?
I agree 100%. And when people say that, showing experience and acknowledgement and everything, doesn't matter if you're distributing paint or anything. You know about the industry. You know about what it takes. And honestly,
I
to me,
agree.
if people don't willing to learn that, when you're wasting your time. You gotta
This
learn.
video is brought to you by Pelican Paintball here in Metairie, Louisiana. If you want the best paintball gear to get in your local Louisiana store, I would recommend heading up to Pelican Paintball. They have everything you need to play paintball, airsoft, ultimate frisbee, you name it. With mask, and guns, hopper, you name it. And they have it all. And if you use TPL10, that's TPL10, you get 10% off of your entire purchase. So go to Pelican Paintball here in Metairie, Louisiana, and use TPL10 for 10% off of your entire purchase. And now let's get
Wasting your
back to our
time.
video.
You gotta learn. And you actually got to grind and actually do the grinding and willing to learn to get better.
Yeah, if you want to get better, sure. Yeah. If you're cool with, hey, it's me and the bros, we're going to go give this a puncher's chance and see what happens, that's
Yeah.
okay too. But just like afterwards, don't rip your buddy's head off because of something happening. And a lot of times, dude, all these finger pointing, they're pointing it in the wrong direction. A lot of time,
Mhm.
it's like paintballers, not everybody, but a lot of paintballers can't accept that, hey, man, that guy shot me. Like, I got played on this one. I made the move at the wrong time, or the ball just went to, like, sometimes it can be at that particular moment that
Mhm.
guy won. It doesn't always have to be because your back guy wasn't doing something or somebody didn't listen. And don't get me wrong, it can be that too, for sure.
Oh yeah.
But it's not always the case. But that's kind of what it's about. And we got a bunch of stuff about to hit. I actually have to get it shipped here. We got a bunch of bags, the smaller size bags, some really cool beanies, and some cool shirts that I haven't got here yet, but we got some stuff coming, so hopefully people will like it. See,
I can't wait to see it myself.
I got one with your name on it already because you told me what you wanted. It's on me. Donation to the paintball lounge.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. And
No problem.
see that it's like it's people like you. We need more people like that. I honestly, we do. This is why I love talking to you, and this is why you were my first, you know, person to interview, and especially when coming to the reloading. Now, if y'all don't understand this, I wish I should have said this earlier. When the concept of me doing reloaded, it was because there's so many people I want to re-interview. You were the first person who I really wanted to redo because if people look back in 2022 when we first did it, I did so much audio with all the music and everything. I was like, God, I gotta redo that. I really gotta help my boy Drew back. Like, I gotta redo that. It was just so bad.
Well,
But
here we are. Here we are.
yeah, and honestly, to me, I wish that I could find the soundboard to be like this, actually like reloading like the whole sound of reloading a pod or like in the hopper. Man, it was so big, so much better. But I don't want to get flagged for that
Yeah.
because um. So another thing is this LAX division of, I guess you could call a factory or was like a program that y'all had going on. Talk about that because man, y'all were killing it with it. There were so many teams playing UXBL, and it seemed like y'all were, you know, there was something that it was there and still there.
Yeah, and I mean, you could see the like the branches of it. It's still kind of a thing in a sense. It's not as unified as it was, and the original plan was to kind of like to have a true program, which is tricky, man. Because like if you got a guy that's on, I mean, if you're being competitive about it, it's not like you can say, okay, well, these five guys that are really good, we're going to spread them out over five teams. Like you're going to put them together to have that higher competitive team, and then we're trying to organize people in like what division they play, how committed they are, their relationships that they have with other people. I mean, you're talking about a lot of different things we had to try to figure out. And for that first initial year, I think, you know, uh, a lot of it just kind of worked out for the
Hmm.
most part. Like guys, we took their feedback, and like in the beginning, before any of this is done, we kind of let them decide who wanted to be with who, and ran that for a couple weeks. Like, oh, I like to play with Zach, or I like to play with somebody, or whatever. And in my opinion, like shoot that shot, let them run it, and if it doesn't work out, we gave them the opportunity to do it.
Hmm.
And then we could get involved and move people around, and we didn't have to do much of that. It just kind of like organically happened, which was kind of cool, right? You know, as it started to go on, certain parts of the program kind of went off, not on their own, but less underneath that umbrella, kind of became their own thing, which I mean, that's fine, I guess. And it's part of it. But, so you had a decent amount of success in 25. And then as soon as we hit the reset going into 26, it's just like, well, what are we doing? And next thing you know, the players are sitting there choosing who they're going with, and who they want to play with, and all this kind of stuff. And we kind of just said, okay, if that's what y'all want to do, you run it. And now there is maybe a little bit more division in it. We have less organization because of it. And we also have less organizers. And it's tough, man, to find somebody that's willing to just be like, I'm not going to worry about playing. I'm going to hang the cleats up, grab a clipboard. I'm going to organize it, and then try to keep so many people from so many. I mean, like huge props to any of these programs that can pull this off. Like you look at some of the things that take place over there, Ragtag, a Gunners program. I mean, they've got some people in place. They've got some players that just figure it out, and at least they make it look that way. I mean, behind the scenes, they might be killing each other. I don't know, but it looks organized. It looks like they've figured it out. But I mean, it's what happened with the program going into this year was by no means shocking. And at the end of the day, I think it's okay. Let some of these guys figure it out. And you know, the biggest thing would be for me is it's just like the amount of lessons that should have been learned from the past ventures. Like, just don't do those. Like, I can't stand watching the same old song and dance that usually ends up in the same result. You know, And it's like, that didn't work, and doing this, and just like, we don't need to get into all the things, but there's things that we've already learned that don't work. And then people think they've already got it figured out and they do it. And maybe they make it work, right? But I mean, some of the mergers and stuff, I mean, like, it's an interesting thing to sit back and watch because, you know, some people liked it, and all the people, some of them liked it, some didn't like it. And, but I mean, dude, that's business. And if you competitive paintball, you got to look at it like a business. And,
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
I can't be like, well, Zach's my buddy, but Bill is a better snake player than him. So I'm going to, because Zach, I mean, you're in trouble if you make those type of decisions. So I don't know. And it seems to be working out fairly well. And I'm sure there's going to be, learning curve and hiccups, but I like what I'm seeing so far this year. Nothing's too bad.
Yeah, yeah, it's not as bad. And you know, I guess you could also say this, like, when y'all went to the program of doing LAX Factory and stuff like that, it, I'm not gonna lie, it was working. I think y'all did really good job because, you know, I can't argue with the fact that like LA Extreme Black or LA Extreme, like, wanting UXBL the way they did. And you're especially, I look back and I still see Smoke and LAX going at it on UXBL. I think it's one of my favorite videos from the UXBL because two teams that I know of from our home state playing at UXBL, and it's just like, I'm just sitting back and like, this is great. This is just, I'm eating popcorn, and I'm like, before I found out I had my condition, I was like, this is great. I'm really enjoying this. Like,
Dude, I mean, I enjoyed it, but I also didn't enjoy it because, I mean, that's a weird spot to be in. To be sitting there where you got good friends on both sides of the field. Like, I think it was Jeremy or Jared with Smoke, and when they were playing, I said, I just want you to notice that I'm going to go sit in the bleachers at the 50-yard line, like right in the middle. I'm not going to scoot to the left. I'm not going to scoot to the right. I'm going to sit right in the middle because, I mean, and I guess really at the end of the day, if you think about it, no matter what, I win. So like either way, an LAX team's going to win this or advance or whatever the scenario is. So let's see what happens. Right. Let it run.
let it run.
Yeah. But I mean, that was a weird, that one event where like out of the 4 teams that made the cut, 3 of them are LAX teams. Dude, people kept, man, how's it feel? I'm like, I have no clue how this feels. I don't know what's happening right. I don't, I don't know what to think. Like at least 2 of my teams are going to podium, right? With that math. Yeah. Yeah. So
Even I was
no matter
like,
what, you know. So yeah, that man, that was that was wild. But hey, good, great job. Those guys,
yeah,
and you got to give credit to a lot of people behind the scenes, man. Like some of the guys helping organize that program, and I get, everybody's got their opinion and whatever, but the things that like Aaron did and Rustin did and all that kind of stuff to help organize that program. I mean, it wouldn't have did what it did if it wasn't for those guys doing what they were doing, and then when you get out of D5, man, it's a whole nother ball game. And players after a season think, or not, don't think they are now ranked up because of what they did. And now you got to figure it out. So now you need more players to try to have a D4, and who's going to be your D3. I mean, it's a tricky game, but,
oh yeah,
those guys,
ranking is
oh
such
yeah,
a tricky. It's such a tricky game. Ranking is such a tricky game, but those guys, we just gotta give them love and respect.
yeah. And like those guys 100% were a key part of that. And we've lost some of those guys in leadership roles in a sense, and that hurts, So right now we're kind of just seeing what works and hoping for the best. Some new guys have stepped up to lead their own little faction and stuff like that, and fortunately, the hiccups that they've had to deal with are trivial, as minor. Like you could go, oh, that's crazy that we're arguing about this. And my opinion on it would be, there's worse things we could be arguing about. Like there is so much more that we could be arguing about that would be way worse than this. It's comical that this is a topic, but if that's the least of our concerns, cool. We'll deal with that. So
Right.
we'll see though. I like where it's going.
Hey, I really have high hopes, and I'm still gonna have high hopes. So I'm going ahead and answer the angel question because a lot of people has been like, I've seen a lot of posts about it. So I'm going ahead and ask, will LAX ball ever come back?
Okay, this is a
You
hot
know I
topic
had to
right
ask
now.
that Angel question. You know I
Yep.
had to answer it.
So this conversation took place in this room this weekend, probably about 4 times with 4 different groups of people. I'm totally open for it.
Do
I'd love to
tell.
see it back, man. That was that. I mean, there wasn't that many X-ball teams in the state of Louisiana, at least on this side of it. I mean, what goes on closer to Texas is a little different, but around here, there wasn't that many X-ball teams because there just wasn't that. Nobody really at the time was set up to do it. So we did all that. Next thing you know, X-ball teams started getting formed out of the woodwork, or at least for these events, right? And it gave players that maybe the guy that can't go to USXBL or NXL or MSXBL or any of that kind of stuff, it gave them a place to compete, right? And dude, this is such a loaded topic, man. But where it stands right now, like, so what do I run? What do I run? A D3 LAX ball? Because a lot of the guys are D3. And if I run a D3 X ball, how many teams are going to show up? Like, how many D3 rosters could you even make? And then would the lower end, like divisionally ranked team, pay an entry fee to go play against a good D3 team if they're not D3? Like, maybe. Or the history has shown no, they won't. And then what was brought to me was, hey, why don't you run a D4 or a D5? There's a lot of those players. Sure, we could do that. But that topic, Matt Hodges is the one that posted this, and that's where it created all the buzz. Everybody for it. I didn't see any D4 players in there saying they wanted it. So the group that's asking for it, and there's not enough of them to do it. Like, so I don't know. That's why I said, look, you guys, y'all tell me what you want and we'll run it. And the only thing is, like, either A, you have to run it on a Saturday, or B, you have to have enough teams to constitute shutting down practice. Teams are out here trying to get better, and we move more paint on those days. You know, on the tail end, selling paint, not even monetarily wise, just moving paint is a very important part of this business. The more paint you sell, the better deals you get, the more the paint companies like you. So if I was taking paint by the skid and dumping it in a Lake Pontchartrain, yeah, financially that's awful, but there's a perk to that, right? So to sit there and say, oh, we could have shot 100 cases of paint at this practice, and then 3 teams sign up for an LAX ball and we shoot 45, and a bunch of guys didn't get practice that weekend, that math don't math. That's not good. So it would need to have enough teams to make it worth canceling practice. And then you got to figure out, okay, how much entry do you want? What do you want? You want this big money, big stakes? Okay, now I need a good reffing crew. And if all my good D3 guys, experienced refs are playing it, we're going to have to go lower, and there's a bunch of money on the line. That's a recipe for disaster.
Right.
So I don't know. Like, a lot of stars are going to have to line to run another LAX ball. Division, like, for who? It's been 15 years probably since I've seen a paintball tournament in this region, in this area, our area, be able to do 2 divisions at one tournament. It just, anytime we've ever tried it, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe somebody else pulled this off, but over the last good while, I haven't seen it work. It's not enough players, and to make some of those rosters that they get formed to enter this, they're grabbing players from other divisions. The D4 guy's allowed to have a D3 guy, they'll grab him, and if a D5, they'll grab some D4s. And as soon as you separate it, I don't know. I don't know the solution, but I'm totally for it. I just think it's way more complicated to figure it out than people think. Like, I don't know.
It is very complicated because especially running a tournament is like, because not only you got to pick the division and the prize, make sure there's enough teams, because if you don't have enough teams, then it's just gonna bomb, and it's just gonna be, you just wasted more money than you should. And that's how tournaments in Louisiana actually kind of deteriorate. Not
Yeah.
enough teams, and you know, just what's the point? So
I mean, I think so. Jeremy and the Smoke guys, they put together that scrimmage, right? And yeah, it's not the same as the competitive tournament, right? But no entry fee, right? Just come out here, run matches. Yes, the paint consumption would be higher if you're playing matches, so there would be an increased cost there. And maybe when we do that, we can figure out some way to bring the price down to make it not too much more expensive. But I mean, if people's opinion was, all right, I'm a up and coming D5 team or a middle of the pack working on a D4 team, and I can spend just a little bit more money and go play against Smoke, Beer Cats, Juggernauts, Ragtag, if they would come, whatever, and let just everybody go out there and play. I mean, especially those D4 players, they're going to get better at paintball that day. Being put in those game situations, and yes, you're not chasing a big bag, but if you didn't pay an entry fee, like like the old bragging rights tournaments we used to run, people used to love those. You could go out, you could have a handful of refs on the field because, like, yeah, dude, come on, cheat at a tournament. It doesn't matter. You'll get booed out of here. Like, just play paintball, and
Yeah.
maybe there's something there to try to start it and get it going, but it wouldn't replicate the everything matters. We're trying to win because there's money on the line, which brings in a whole nother
Yeah, that's
dynamic
a
to
whole
try to dig.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So,
a whole different side.
but if we
So
could get teams that had that same opinion, not to cut you off, but if everybody had
no,
that
you're
same
good.
opinion, you could get 6, 7, 8 teams out here literally just to run a scrimmage. Maybe that's the solution. But I think some teams, maybe I'm wrong, but I think some of your D5 and D4 teams might be like, yeah, we're not doing that. We're not going to go get beat up by some of the better teams, more experienced teams in this area. But if they didn't look at it that way, if they looked at it like, hey, let's go get better at paintball and get in game situations with a clock and, oh, we're down by 2, there's a minute left, we have to do this. I mean, that's good experience. So maybe, maybe.
Hopefully, because it was so much fun. And even if you were like just a D6, just going out there just to play a tournament that you don't have to travel, you don't have to buy a room or anything like that. Just go there, have fun, s- you know, shoot. If you have beef with someone, you can take it to a tournament on the field and be like this. Yeah, I could go back in time, and watch, pictures, be like, hey, I remember that match. And that's all cares about.
It was good, man. And I know a lot of people have good memories. I know some people have bad memories and stuff. And I've talked to a lot of people about it. I think it was a good thing overall.
Yeah.
I'd love to bring it back, man, even if it's 3-man or a lower division or something, because I feel bad for like those D5 players or even D4 players that ain't looking to like 100% make bad decisions and commit to paintball. Like to go get, a little bit of make your paint and your entry fee a little bit. Well, I don't know. USXBL is paying like crazy, but like there's people that want to, like, you could give them something to play for. Like,
Right.
I mean, the Beer Cats during that run, like that was their NXL. Like that's what they came and practiced for. They were sitting there like they wanted to play. Like, yeah, they go hit an NXL event every now and then or a USXBL event every now and then when the stars align with their players. But for the most part, their stomping grounds was was LAX ball. And it just gave them a place to do this. So yeah, it'd be great to bring it back, but I don't know how to do it.
I understand. So I just wanted your opinion about this. Okay. So we're known as a small state that does not think about paintball. When you think about Louisiana, you don't think about paintball. In your opinion, how do you think we can grow Louisiana paintball at a level where it's not going to be like the most popular thing out there? Because we cannot compete with, Texas or Florida or, the big places. But what can we do to where it's like, hey, we're Louisiana. We may not have a big facility, but we're noticeable.
I mean, you would have to control what you could control and not worry about what you can't control. We can't control the average household income. We can't control the low population in comparison to like Texas. I mean, it's been a while since I did this, but there's like substantially, I think I could be wrong here, but I want to say there's something like 8 million people or something like that in the Dallas Fort Worth area. And like the entire state of Louisiana has like 4 million people. So, like, but hey, what can you do about that, right? There's nothing you can do about that. So I think the only way that you could do it is kind of just like you got to nurture this thing, man. You got to, and I think lately it's been in the right direction, like taking care of the new player, giving people a sense of camaraderie, man. But you're in a weird generation right now, and this is gonna sound the old man mentality, but like the teenage and this isn't all teenagers, right? I'm not,
No,
but
it's fine.
a lot of teenagers today, man, this stuff's hard. I mean, like, and especially like, society has made this world where it's instant gratification. Amazon Prime. Hey, I'm gonna order something. I'm gonna get it in 2 days. Like, I remember days you waited weeks to get whatever you ordered, and so now it's instant, and they can jump on that Xbox and get instant success by having a good KD or winning the game or being the last man standing or whatever. They want, like, putting work into stuff is now like, and waiting and paying your dues. It's not that popular of a concept anymore. We're seeing guys come out, kids come out, teenagers. They play one game of paintball, get shot, and then turn their gear in. Like, in 2007, if a dude showed up at a birthday party, obviously we wouldn't say nothing to him. But after he leaves, people are going to be talking about that guy for months. But because he turned his gear in, because he got hit, and he didn't like it. Like, it was rare. Now it's common, and it's hot
Mm.
outside. LAX is always wet. It's undesirable, right? And we've seen it where a guy shows up with HK gear. He got it off ANS gear, TikTok or something, got him into paintball. He comes out for a weekend or two, realizes this. And this is what I like to believe. I mean, I talk to a lot of our players about this, about taking it easy on the guy, take him under your wing, be friends with him, let him get his legs underneath him. And still they get out real quick. Like, they come around a couple weeks and realize, yeah, this is too much. So that I think that's a part that's hurting us, but we can't control that either, except for just try to be cool, teach people, willing to work with people, maybe stick around after practice and show somebody, like, some camaraderie and, hey, I'm here to help you or whatever. I think that would help. Positively promoting the sport. And, there's people that are wired, like, let's give you the comparison for, like, birthday parties, right? Like,
Mm.
when we were designing one of our websites, I had given the web designer all these awesome speedball pictures, right? Like, cool pictures of dudes at the starting box with the chrome lenses and the cool headgear and the cool guns. I mean, just they look really cool, and that's what we're going to use. And he was like, "You're out of your mind. You can't use that." Like, because the person that you're trying to get here with a birthday party sees that, and they're like, "I'm not sending little Timmy to go play against these, warrior looking predator guys with all that stuff." Like, so the guys that are wired for that kind of stuff, yeah, like, that's kind of part of paintball. But there's a lot of people that are like on the softer side. And it's almost like we might have to do some catering and nurturing to get these people to where they create an environment where maybe one time, even if it's against their peers, people against their level, that they could win a 2v1 and get a little sense of confidence and, get it rolling, instead of maybe not having the best results and instantly shagging butt and turning around going the other way. Um, and that's easier said than done. I don't know, dude. We've been trying things for 20 years to increase Louisiana paintball. And it's just like, I mean, we have increased it, right? We have, like, for sure. I mean, last couple of years have been an example of that. But we still got a long way to go, man. And,
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
and maybe even taking the angle of figuring out a way to create more success with our teams and being able to trickle that down, like having mentors out here and guys that are willing to, you see some of these other programs that are within our vicinity that are really good at this, and having players work with other players. And it's like, man, where'd that kid come from? That kid's awesome. He's been playing paintball 6 months, but somebody over there was able to connect with that kid. And maybe it's the individual, sure, but there's got to be something there about worrying about the future. Because, I mean, here's your perfect tell, Zach. Look out there on a Sunday morning. It's not all, but the majority of the player is 25 years or older, right? 25, 28, 30, 35. Like, yeah, a couple teenagers here and there. This is an exact switch from the way it was in, like, '02, '03, '04, '06, '08. I mean, I was like one of the oldest dudes out here at like 27, 28 years old. Everybody was like 13 and 14 years old, like 30 of them. And look at it now. Where are all those kids at? I think there's so many different things to figure out with it, but I think there's something there with that we've got to be reloading. We've got to be bringing in a newer gen and mentoring them and working with them and figuring out how to get them to stick around in paintball
Right.
and,
And
and success.
it's also hard because like I still stay to this quote by the paintball nerd when I have him on the show. He These new generation has a short attention span. Has short attention span because it's like, oh, this is gonna be fun. Next man later, oh, this is new shiny. Like
Yeah.
it's that quick. So
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%. If we can get the people, especially the new generation, like, hey, this is a wonderful sport. Like, it's everything that you could think of that you playing on a TV, but in real life, but without, you know, the actual, you know,
Yeah. And
it's
dude, you know
just
what else? You know what else hurts us that I think a lot of people overlook? I mean, the guys that can overlook this, sure, that's what we have. But think about how 9 times out of 10, how undesirable the conditions of our area are. Like it's either raining or 115 degrees outside, like, and you can't, and it's like, you can't even, everywhere you go, there's some type of issue. Like, okay, it's hot outside. Let's play at night. Cool, bro. Here come the mosquitoes. Have fun with that. Like, that I'm sure that doesn't help, right? Especially for this softer esque younger gen, the ones that are like that. I mean, I don't want to go outside and get ate up with mosquitoes.
I mean,
But I don't know. We just got a lot going for us, but I mean, a lot going against us, but we can't control that stuff. So I think we just need to focus on,
what we can control and try them and do
yeah,
our best.
yep. And see what happens. I mean, you miss every shot you don't take, right? So we just got to get that going, get everybody on the same page, bring in new people, sharing paintball stuff on social media. I mean, I know it looks like it gets no traction, but maybe the right person sees it. I don't know. I
Hopefully.
don't know.
So, all right. So let's go ahead and I know you got some questions that you probably want to ask me. So go ahead, ask some questions for me.
Okay. So in this entire paintball lounge journey, if you could pick one thing to do differently, what would it be?
Oof.
And if there's not one, that's okay too. But like if you could go back in a time machine and change one thing, knowing what you know now, would there be something? And if so, what would it be?
I think the one thing I would have changed was the time that I was doing cameras, like those 4 cameras. I wish I could have changed that. Like, it was great concept, but man, it was such a pain in the ass. It was a waste of money. I'm not gonna lie. That shit was a waste of money and a waste of my time. If I could go back and, probably did a little bit more research, but I made it a little bit smoother for me, possibly. I do not know, but that would be the one thing I would probably change.
Well, that sounds pretty minor. So at least you don't have some huge regret. So that's good. All right. So did I get a couple of these or did I only get one?
You can ask as many as you want, man.
All right. I got another
Lay
one.
on me.
So let's not take the podcast celebrity Zach. Let's take the paintball celebrity Zach and say, what would be your favorite like moment you experienced on a paintball field as a player? And I'm not talking about winning a match or winning a game. I'm talking about a certain scenario that unfolded on the field in a point, in a match, in a scenario game. What was like exhilarating, gave you a lot of joy, confidence, whatever, made you feel good. Like, what did you do with that paintball gun that really, like, your number one experience behind the gun?
I think it was that time where the Hurricanes were still at LAX and they were doing that 1v1. I believe Austin and Stu was doing it. And, I got a chance to face Stu for the first time. And that was just like, at first I was nervous, but it was awesome. That was just like an awesome time. And I think that was one of my favorite times. I wish I had like a photo like to capture it, but that's the memory that's gonna be stick with me the whole time because and there was other fond memories. I mean, got the chance to play Jesse Stevens when he was here. And I think it was Jesse and Q was playing on the same side with me. And and then I got that, Jesse, kind of telling me, hey, Zach, why didn't you do this? And I'm like, that was awesome. Like, even though I could see Jesse as like, he is a coach and one of the, you know, one of my all time players, I will always pick Jesse, always Jesse Stevens, because not only he's from Louisiana, it's not because of that, it's also because of his play style and what he has done.
He's a
But
dog.
he is a dog. And the fact that I got the chance to get a taste of his acknowledgement and everything, I didn't get upset or anything. I just smiled. I was just like, that just felt good. Like that shit felt good.
That's that's super cool. All right. Yeah. So I want to give you a suggestion for the
Go
paintball
ahead.
lounge. All right. I think you need to add, like, I watch a lot of podcasts, man. And some of them, they'll be like, hey, we're at the part of the show where we do, and they have like a segment or something like that. Right.
Hmm.
So I have known you and followed you on social media before Paintball Lounge. And I think, and now you don't have to do it for every show, maybe like once a month, whatever, every other show or something like that. I would like to see, as a fan, a segment where you bring back, I'm sure there's a more modern name for it, but I would like to see you bring back the lip syncing videos with the sing. You remember those videos
Lip sync.
where you would sing songs, but you weren't really singing. You would just play a song and you would sing it though. Like, I guess, like, the only term I know is lip syncing. And you would show the passion of the singer. You would get into it. It was probably like 4 years ago. It was awesome. Like, I think you need to bring that back, put a comical spin onto it. Like, instead of just putting on a glove and singing a song, man, put on a wig, grab a guitar. Like, I don't know, just have fun with it, because I thought that stuff was pretty cool. And I think it would be a great, hey, we're finishing the show and I'm going to sing When Dove Cries by Prince. And you put on, some lace and sing a cool song. I mean, you don't have to like the idea, but I think it would be pretty cool.
I mean that does sound like a really cool idea,
See,
especially um since I'm still doing the whole editing on my own songs and everything. I'm may do that. I
dude,
actually will may do that.
see? And you got to think that request did not involve any nipplage. So you got to give me credit for that. I didn't bring that
Oh
up.
yeah. Like I'm not gonna give any credit to anybody who gives me no, I mean shoot. I give credit to everybody who gives me ideas.
No, like, you remember what I used to always ask you on your podcast to
Yeah,
do?
show the nipple until
So
I
we did.
actually did that. And
I
I
know.
really did do that.
I know, and I thank you for that. I'll never unsee that.
I mean, I can show the nipple now.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. We're good. But one time is good enough.
Hey, I mean, hey, it's 18 plus.
Yeah, and I mean, it was a nice nipple, so I'll give you that.
Yeah, I tried. I tried to keep the physique.
Oh, you didn't. You were born with that nipple. Get out of here.
Oh, what is the so what we're gonna have to answer this last question, and this is probably gonna be the last one because I know I know you got to eat and you got to do some stuff. So, what is the future like for LAX?
Man, I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully we can keep dealing, growing and working with the speedball community, like, and getting that, keeping that dialed in. I mean, that takes constant attention, but it's very important to me. So hopefully we can keep that going and figure out ways to make it work for everybody, even if it's another field or just more organized practices or whatever. Like, I think there's some tweaking needed to be done with that. That's a big thing on my radar, trying to figure that out. And I would like to do some, like, 10-man fields, since that's what I play. And I mean, we just came back from an event where we played in the woods against some really good teams and squeaked out a second place. And we have never, like, I honestly don't think one person, maybe Neil Hicks has some background with woods, maybe, not to my knowledge, but maybe. But, like, I don't know if anybody had played in the woods before that was on that roster. And if they have, I would imagine they hadn't played that much in the woods. Maybe some recreational games or something at command or something like that, maybe. But if we had a place to play for that format, I think it could be really good for this area, because I think there's a lot of guys that want to play 10-man mech, whether or not it's hyperball mounds, wooded speedball fields, or these wooded setups. But, like, I think if we actually had a place for people to do that, then I think a lot of guys that are maybe like, yeah, man, chasing the speedball dream is a little too much. I'm at a point in my life, I'm older, my my family, my job, whatever. And this just takes a lot now to be very competitive and do well in paintball. I think you might see a lot of guys go, hey, that's a cool option to be able to go out of town and compete and play. But if we had a place here to do it, I think, and those fields double as rec fields. So I think that's a good, or can double as rec fields, I should say. I think that's probably one of our next moves out here to try to get some 10-man go.
Right. And I think that would be a great idea, man. Because I would love to play 10 band eventually, like in the woods, and just see how, it was back then, not here, not to, you can't be this close. You got to listen to your ears. And I
Mm.
love that. I love that idea. And hopefully that does come to fruition, like actually come to
Well, that
life.
tournament we just went to was very it was very good for us, especially me, because seeing what kind of fields actually work for that format, right? That you can actually play competitively on. I mean, it's a little different, it's a little wonky, but it's good. It's just it's off the beaten path of what speedball typically is, right?
Right.
And it's not an insane investment, an insane amount of work. It's you can use what you have and shape it up and modify it without breaking the bank and taking forever to do it. So that was really good to see. So, and we have plenty of land out here to where we can do this. So hopefully sooner than later. Hopefully by the time it cools down a little bit, we'll be able to go back there and wear some goggle flies and some tiger stripe and see what happens.
Yeah. Well, hey, hopefully I'll be there to witness it all. So
Yeah, man, get out there for
I
sure.
will. I would definitely. All right, man. Well, I think that's all the time we got, man. I appreciate you coming on the show again.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me. It's always a good time talking to you. Next time you're here, probably not for this weekend, but definitely by next weekend, make sure you holler at me so I can give you some goodies.
I will. I always will.
All right, man.
I'll see you around, man. You too. All right, y'all. That was Drew Bankston from LA Xtreme on a reload episode. And honestly, I love talking to him. He's one of the many pillars of Louisiana paintball and, just great guy. We'll do some ideas. But before I do any new ideas, I want y'all to do this. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, comment the video however you want to. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel as well as our Spotify account. And I hope y'all have a great day and stay safe. I'll see y'all in the next episode of the Paintball Lounge. Later.